And looks like she's going to be fairly far forward. I think our commentator for the day is Justin O'Hanlon again.
Just over 2 miles for opener, 11 flights of hurdles to be jumped, and on the run towards the first of them, on the inside, Faith of Empires is the first to show in front for Donna Myler from Lucas Tipple in second as they come to flight number 1, and all negotiated safely. So making the left-handed swing to bring them into the back straight for the first time, it's Faith of Empires, who takes them along by 2 to 3 lengths over Lucas Tipple, who races in second. Similar break to Santos Suspir, who races third on the inside of Malacana. And they're a few lengths in front of Mystery, with on that one's inside is Jasmine Pearl, with up there towards the outer of those is Sageborough. And they're a couple of lengths in front of Le Moulin Rouge and Lasca de Broye, who's followed as they jump flight number 2 by I'll Take Him Myself. So halfway down the back straight and heading towards flight number 3. The lead is with Faith of Empires, and Donna Myler leads by a couple of lengths to Lucas Tipple and Conor Stone Walsh jumping in second. Third on the inside, Santos Suspir and Jack Kennedy with Malacana, and Aidan Kelly upsides that. A couple of lengths then to Mystery and Danny Gilligan on the inside of Sageborough and Sean O'Keefe, trying to back up his treble here yesterday. Between those two races, Jasmine Pearl and Darragh O'Keefe, who's a length or so in front of Le Moulin Rouge, and Sean Flanagan, who's on the inside of I'll Take Him Myself and Paddy O'Brien, who rode a double at Galway yesterday. Next on the inside then, the yellow and green colours of It's Not His Fault and Callum Hogan. On the outer, Bulgeddon Castle and Simon Torrens, and the two at the back of the field in the early stages are He's Gone That Way, and Dylan Robinson and Miss Gyrey and Philip Donovan trail them as they head into the straight for the first of the 2 flights. Flight number 4 on this occasion, and all jump it safely. Faith of Empires the leader, coming to the flight which will be the last in the circuit's time. Just gets in a little bit tight, but lands a couple of lengths in front of, in second place, Lucas Tipple. Third on the inside, Santos Suspir, with Malacana racing in 4, and the outside of that one in 5 races Sageborough, and they're a couple of lengths in front of a Mystery, who's on the inside of Jasmine Pearl. A length then to Le Moulin Rouge, who races on the inside of, on the outer, Lasca de Broye and Ben Harvey, and those leaders safely over that flight. A couple of lengths in front of It's Not His Fault, who's on the inside of I'll Take Him Myself. So as they swing left-handed to bring the horse to flight, 5 from the finish, and on the inside, Faith of Empires continues to take them along. Lucas Tipple with a length and a half in second, a length then to Santos Suspir, who races in third. Racing 4 is Malacana, with on that one's outside is Sageborough. A length and a half then to Lasca de Broye, who's 3 parts of a length in front of Jasmine Pearl, and a length then to find Le Moulin Rouge, and they've gone on from Mystery, and behind a Mystery is It's Not His Fault. Into the back straight, inside the final 3/4 of a mile of this William Hill Each Way Extra Challenge Series maiden hurdle, and the pace beginning to increase as Faith of Empires continues in front by a length and a half. Lucas Tipple in second, Santos Suspir is third as they approach the flight 4 from the finish. 4 on the inside, Malacana, with 5 on the outer is Sageborough. They're a couple of lengths in front of a Mystery, who's getting back into it now on the inside of Le Moulin Rouge, and behind Le Moulin Rouge races Jasmine Pearl, and they're clear. Jumping the third last, Faith of Empires continues in front. Santos Suspir now comes through to almost join issue for second, with Lucas Tipple on the outside. They're a length in front of Malacana. Sageborough continues to make ground on the outside of those, about to move into 4, and they're a couple of lengths in front of Le Moulin Rouge, who's followed by Mystery and Jasmine Pearl, and they're clear of the remainder. Heading towards the turn into the straight, inside the 3-furlong pole, Faith of Empires now tackled by Santos Suspir in the centre under Jack Kennedy. On the outside races Lucas Tipple and Conor Stone Walsh, and they're a length in front or so in front of Malacana, boxing on in 4, with Le Moulin Rouge beginning to stay on behind those. Heading towards the turn into the straight and towards the second last flight, and Lucas Tipple has come through on the outside to join Santos Suspir. They jump at a length in front of Sageborough, staying on third on the outside. Jasmine Pearl from some way back. Le Moulin Rouge next at the final flight, and Lucas Tipple on the inside of Sageborough, now the challenger under Sean O'Keefe on the outer and racing up towards the final 50 yards. It's Sageborough comes through on the outside. Paul Nolan won the 2 maiden hurdles there yesterday and is going to win a third. Sageborough wins by a length and a half for Sean O'Keefe. Second, Lucas Tipple. Third was the winner, Staple Companion, Le Moulin Rouge, and they were in front of Jasmine Pearl and Santos Suspir, who faded late.
The Paul Nolan, Sean O'Keefe thread continues from yesterday into today. Paul Nolan with a double yesterday, Sean O'Keefe with a treble, with Claude and Costa Curta likely to be to the fore. We'll get up to Justin.
Once again, 11 flights of hurdles to jump over this extended 2-mile trip, and they swing left-handed to bring them on the run towards flight number 1. Costa Curta is on the inside of the great Claude. And these are the first 2 to show as they jump the first flight and all jump it safely in Indian file. Third is Rocky Boya, a couple of lengths in front of Tatateo in 4. 5 is Colony Victoria, Money Dancer 6, and Pion Darragh settled in the back marker of the 7 runners. So into the back straight they go and head towards flights 2 and 3. And a decent enough clip on early. Maybe slightly steadied now as Costa Curta's got to the front for Darragh O'Keeffe. Leads by half a length to Claude and Aidan Kelly in second. A length then to Rocky Boya and Alex Balfe. The hat-trick seeking Rocky Boya jumps that well on the outside, almost joins issue for second with Claude. 3 lengths then to Tatateo in 4 for Dan King, with 5 on the inside is Colonia Victoria and Sean Flanagan as a jump flight number 3. Money Dancer and Dunnamiller, and a few lengths back to Pion Darragh, who's just pushed along for a couple of strides after that. Finding the pace a little bit hot in the early stages for Sean O'Keeffe. So as they swing out of the back straight and head towards head towards the turn of the straight where flights 4 and 5 await them. Costa Curta on the inside with Rocky Boya moving up on the outer, and these two dispute a length in front of the grey Claude in third. The chasing group getting a bit closer. Tatateo 4 on the inside of Money Dancer 5, Colonia Victoria and Pion Darragh 6 and 7. So turning in towards flights 4 and 5, and the pace definitely has steadied a bit. Costa Curta and Darragh O'Keeffe on the inside. Sees a nice stride and jumps at half a length in front of Rocky Boya. Claude jumps it in third, Tatateo in 4. As they come to the flight, which will the last next time. Rocky Boya slightly awkward at it. The back 2 as they head out in the final circuit, Colonia Victoria and stable companion Pion Darragh. So heading up past the winning post, about half a dozen lengths separating first and last as they approach the flight 6 in the finish. Costa Curta and Darragh O'Keeffe on the inside with a half a length advantage over Rocky Boya and Alex Balfe. They jump at 3 lengths in front of Tatateo, third on the inside of Claude in 4. Money Dancer half a length in front of Colonia Victoria and 3 lengths to Pion Darragh, who continues to bring up the rear as they swing left-handed towards the flight 5 in the finish inside the final mile of this Start Your Free trial on Racing TV now. Rated Novice Hurdle has jumped the 5th last. Costa Curta awkward at it. Lands a half a length in front though of Rocky Boya in second. 2 lengths then to Tatateo, third on the inside of Claude in 4. Money Dancer moves up on the outside as this leading quintet are separated only by about 2.5 lengths. 4 lengths then to Colonia Victoria and 2 lengths to its stable companion Pion Darragh, the back marker of the 7. Heading into the back straight, inside the final 3/4 of a mile, Costa Curta with Rocky Boya moving back up on the outside now to just head the early leader as they jump that. Costa Curta better jump on the inside and lands a neck in front. In third is Money Dancer, 4 Tatateo. Claude being driven along in 5 now by Aidan Kelly, a few lengths in front of Colonia Victoria and a similar margin to the back marker on Pion Darragh. Jumping to third last as they head towards the end of the back straight. Costa Curta and Rocky Boya have been first and second throughout, mostly in that order. They're a length in front of Tatateo. Money Dancer travels well just on the heels of the leading 2 for Dunnamiller on the outside. Claude is next, about to be challenged for 5th spot by Colonia Victoria. Travels into the race now for Sean Flanagan, a few lengths in front of Pion Darragh, who's been driven along but certainly not out of it as they head towards the turn into the straight inside the final 2.5 furlongs and heading towards the second last. Costa Curta on the inside, Rocky Boya on the outer. Rocky Boya with a fraction of advantage possibly. They're a length and a half in front of Money Dancer, now being asked for an effort in third. Tatateo 4 down to the second last. Rocky Boya is going to land half a length in front of Costa Curta. They go on by a couple of lengths to Tatateo. Colonia Victoria tries to stay on, but Rocky Boya has gone 2 to 3 lengths clear jump in the last. Rocky Boya jumped it well, lands 3 in front of Costa Curta, being challenged for second by Colonia Victoria, but the hat-trick seeking Rocky Boya is hat-trick seeking no more as he completes the 3-timer. Rocky Boya and Alex Balfe by about 4 lengths in the end. Close call for second, with Colonia Victoria possibly getting that from Costa Curta. Fourth was Tatateo. Money Dancer on Pion Darragh past 1, and that was Claude.
Rocky Boya has done it again. He's in just tremendous form. Francis Casey's horse. Trainer doing a great job with him. He won at Killarney back in earlier this month, then won.
He does seriously well with the team of horses that he has. She's the grey in the grey colours as well.
Just over 2 miles, 11 flights of hurdles once again to be jumped in this Slaney View Honda Handicap Hurdle. And a race to the first bend sees Mustmead Cecil emerging in front as they come to the first flight. Chosen Shant on the outer, and they all jump it safely enough. A third on the inner race is Champagne Dawn with Eastern Wind in 4. As they shortly make the run down and run into the back straight where flights 2 and 3 away. Racing in 5 is Solar Falcon, who's a length in front of Jake Peter with Arch Enemy. One of 3 greys in the race on the inside, on the outer of these, as they come towards flight number 2. races club manager. So as they come towards the second flight, and again all over it safely, good clip set up front by Chosen Chant on the outside of Must Meet Cecil. They're 3 to 4 lengths in front or more of Champagne Dawn, who raced in third as jump flight number 3. Eastern Wind and a crash. Arch Enemy took a crashing fall there and badly hampered John Gus back in the field. Horse is up all right. Hopefully rider Owen Finnegan won't be too much longer in rising as well. And he is on his feet. So the remainder of the field head out of the back straight and head towards the turn in for the first time. The pace just beginning to steady a little bit up front after the early frenetic gallop, with Chosen Chant on the inside of Must Meet Cecil. Champagne Dawn is on the outer of that duo. They're a couple of lengths in front of Eastern Wind, with Rock on Liam on the inside of that one in 5 in the mostly blue jacket. They're followed by Club Manager, a couple of lengths in front of Bano Blaze, with on that one's inside is Solar Falcon. Chosen Chant wasn't too tidy at that fourth flight. Racing in mid-division is Inchiquin Star, who's in front of the top weight Malbay Madness as they jump the flight, which were the last on the circuit this time. Jake Peter next, and John Gus, having been badly hampered by the faller at the final flight in the back straight, has one behind it as they race out with a circuit to go. That one is Morelli. So heading out on the final circuit and heading towards the flight 6 in the finish. The lead is now with Chosen Chant, leads by a length and a half as they come to this opening flight on the final circuit. Jumping in second is Champagne Dawn. Third on the inside is Must Meet Cecil. They're followed by Eastern Wind in the white sleeves, is on the outside of Rock on Liam. Next in the field then is Club Manager, who travels on the outside, followed then by Inchiquin Star and Malbay Madness. A couple of lengths then to Jake Peters being pushed along, trying to keep its place ahead of John Gus. Solar Falcon has dropped back and only has Morelli behind it as they jump the fifth last flight and head into the back straight. They're past the point of departure inside the final 7 furlongs of this Slaney View Honda handicap hurdle, and the pace just begins to increase again as Must Meet Cecil goes back to the front, leads by 3 lengths. From second place Champagne Dawn, Chosen Chant is in third, Eastern Wind is 4, followed 5 on the inside by Rock on Liam as they come to the first of the flights in the back straight, which is 4 from the finish. Must Meet Cecil, and Carl Miller is going to approach it and jumps it well, lands 4 to 5 lengths in front. Rock on Liam moves through on the inside now to dispute second spot for Mike O'Connor. As they come to the third last, Must Meet Cecil from Rock on Liam, Eastern Wind, Club Manager, making significant headway on the outside now to go into fourth spot for Liam McKenna. They're followed a couple of lengths back by Bano Blaze, who tries to stay on. Behind those is Inchiquin Star, who's a length or so in front of Jake Peter, and they're clear of the remainder. They're heading out of the back straight inside the final 3 furlongs. Must Meet Cecil, the leader. From second being pushed along Eastern Wind, Rock on Liam on the inner. Bano Blaze, Club Manager, Inchiquin Star and Jake Peter all try to join in on the outside. Open race as they turn into the straight. They're clear of Malbay Madness, but turning in with 2 furlongs left to race and 2 flights left to jump, and Bano Blaze comes through to lead, being tackled now on the outside by Club Manager, but Bano Blaze travels to the front for Owen Staples as they come to the second last, and met it all wrong, but still lands a couple of lengths in front of Club Manager in second. Rock on Liam back in third, but down between the final 2 flights, Bano Blaze out in front at the last. Bano Blaze sees a good stride there, jumps it much better, lands 2 in front of Club Manager, trying to stay on in second, racing inside the final 50 yards. Bano Blaze from Club Manager, a couple of lengths between them, with that advantage going to be maintained to the line, up to the line. Bano Blaze the winner by a couple from Club Manager in second. Rock on Liam is third. Inchiquin Star, Must Meet Cecil and Jake Peter 4, 5 and 6.
Bano Blaze has got his win on the board today. He ran really well at Gowran Park last time. He's gone 1 better today. He's always travelled well for Owen Staples, just in behind the pace. They did go really fast.
Flags are raised. And they're off. For our 4th hurdle race over this extended 2 miles, 11 flights of hurdles to be jumped, and on the run towards the first, it's Keep It Together, who's going to win the early race to get to the first flight in front, and lands about 3 in front of Ataho in second. One who made a bad mistake back in the field was Fervida, dropped that back a few placings, but as they head into the back straight and towards flights 2 and 3, taking them along by some 3 to 4 lengths is Keep It Together and Harry Sexton. About half a dozen lengths in front, fact, of Ataho and JJ Slevin racing in second. They're 3 lengths in front of King's Son, who's in third. Ring of Kerry, but that one's outside, is the grey, one of the Grey's Owls Delight, with on the inner is the other grey, Magnificent Era. They're followed over flight number 2 by Fervida, who's in front of our boy Christie. And then a couple of lengths to find Little Mischief, with on that one's outside is another Belter. And the back marker as they approach flight number 3 is Blossom Fort Flyer. So all safely over the first 3 flights for Vida. Rider Ross Berry seems to have lost an iron, but the saddle has slipped. He's lost both irons, in fact, trying to retrieve them. And looks as though he's managed to do so. So the remainder of the field head towards the turn into the straight with Keep It Together, taking them along by a couple of lengths to Ataho, racing in second. Gap of some half a dozen lengths then back to King's Son, who's in third. Ring of Kerry in the hoop sleeves races 4 with, on that one's inner is Magnificent Era, on the outer the Orange Jacket, the Grey Owl's Delight. They're followed by My Boy Christie as they jump the 4th flight. Behind My Boy Christie is Little Mischief in company with Fervida, another belter, and the back marker Blossom for Flower. But the field has tightened up as they jump flight number 5 and head past the winning post with a complete circuit to race. And the lead is with Keep It Together, and Harry Sexton leads by about 3 lengths to Ataho and JJ Slevin in second. Racing third is King's Son and Tiernan Power Roach, with on that one's outside is Owl's Delight under Sean O'Keefe. My Boy Christie has made headway to take much closer order in about 5th spot, jumping that 6th last flight for Darragh O'Keefe. They're followed in the inner by Ring of Kerry and Danny Gilligan. Magnificent Era and Ryan Tracy is on the inside rail, the grey, in front of another belter who's made a couple of placings for Richie Condon on the outside of Fervida and Ross Berry. Owl's Delight has now dropped back through the field to be one from last, heading out on the final circuit. And behind it, and in fact has dropped to last place, has passed over that 5th last flight by Blossom for Flyer and Michael Keneally. But as they head into the back straight, about 7 furlongs or so left to race. And little enough change in the order up front, with Keep It Together continuing to lead by a length. King's Son has now moved into second. Magnificent Era races third on the inside of My Boy Christie, with just in behind those Ring of Kerry. Ataho is losing its pitch and is dropped back through the field for JJ Slevin. And is dropping right away, in fact, as they jump the 4th last flight. Only has Fervida and the now tailed off Owl's Delight behind it as they jump that. And Ataho is being eased at the back of towards the back of the field. As the remainder come to the 3rd last flight. My Boy Christie moves up on the outside now to head King's Son. They're first and second. On the inside, Magnificent Era is in third. Ring of Kerry in 4. They're followed by another belter who's made ground from out of the pack. Also making ground from out of the pack to tack onto the heels of the leading group is Little Mischief. And there in front of Blossom for Flyer tries to stay on. The early leader, Keep It Together, has dropped right away. Heading inside the final 3 furlongs towards the turn into the straight and the final 2 flights. My Boy Christie, Darragh O'Keefe on the outside. King's Son and Tiernan Power Roach on the inner. Travelling strongly is Ring of Kerry and Danny Gilligan. And there in front of another belter now being ridden by Richie Condon to try to stay in touch with the 3 leaders. But heading into the straight towards the final 2 flights, and Ring of Kerry moves through on the inside now to take it up as they head to the second last. Ring of Kerry lands in the lead by half a length to King's Son under pressure in second, but not going away as they head between the final 2 flights. Ring of Kerry the far side, King's Son on the stand side at the last. Ring of Kerry from King's Son. They're clear of another belter in third as the race inside the final 150 is Ring of Kerry under a kid glove ride from Danny Gilligan on the far side, and he's going to cut him home and racing up to the line. Ring of Kerry wins by a length from the hard-driven King's Son, a gallant second. In third was another belter, 4th was My Boy Christie, and 5th was Magnificent Era.
Developed into a good duel between Ring of Kerry and King's Son, and it's a duel that Ring of Kerry probably always looked like winning. He just had the upper hand. Danny Gilligan didn't have to get overly serious with him, Lisa. And for a horse who stayed so well over hurdles the last day, was good over a short triple cola, but the flags are up.
Longish run before they reach the first of 14 fences to be jumped in this listed Michael Hickey Memorial Chase, with just 4 of the 7 declared runners disappointingly standing their ground for this Wexford's featured national hunt race of the season. But as they head towards the turn in is Rocky's Diamond, having just his 2nd start over fences, is the one who leads them from Monbeg Park, who races in second. Blizzard of Oz third, and the outside of the quartet, If I Were a Rich Man, settled in the back marker, the 4 runners under Sean O'Keefe. So heading towards the turn into the straight and towards fences 1 and 2. Rocky's Diamond comes to the first with a 2 to 3 length advantage and jumps it well from Monbeg Park, Blizzard of Oz, and If I Were a Rich Man. As they come to fence number 2, that order is maintained, and Rocky's Diamond again fluent over it, lands in front of Monbeg Park, Blizzard of Oz, and If I Were a Rich Man. So as they head past the winning post, 2 complete circuits of the tractor race in this Michael Hickey Memorial Chase, and Rocky's Diamond on the inside with the advantage for Michael Keneally, as they come to fence number 3. And again, sees a very good stride over it, lands 3 in front of Monbeg Park and JJ Slevin in second. Blizzard of Oz, Paul Townend in third, and last the 4, If I Were a Rich Man and Sean O'Keefe. So between these 4 participants, they've won 15 races and almost €370,000 in win and place prize money between them. And Rocky's Diamond jumps that 4th fence, gives it plenty of air and lands 3 lengths in front. Having just his 2nd start of fence, having impressed very much with his jumping on his chasing debut at Galway last month. Leads by a couple of lengths to Monbeg Park and JJ Slevin. Winning most of these 4 runners, having won 5 races and over 100 grand in win and place prize money, and won his beginner's chase here in the summer of last year. Raced in second, Blizzard of Oz in third, yet to win over fences. The Willie Mullins representative, but ran into some good ones last season and finished off last year with a good second in a very competitive handicap chase at the Punchestown Festival. Jumps that in third, and If I Were a Rich Man, not seen since falling at the last in a Grade 3 novice chase at Punchestown back early in the year, is the back marker of the quartet. So it's the race out of the back straight for the penultimate time. Rocky's Diamond continues to take them along. Last season's Stairs Hurdle 4th leads by a couple of lengths to Blizzard of Oz on the inside of Monbeg Park, racing 2nd and 3rd. And If I Were a Rich Man remains at the back of the 4-runner field, detached by about half a dozen lengths or so. So as they swing in towards the 2 fences in the straight for the 2nd time. Coming to Rocky's Diamond, again stood off it, has barely touched a twig so far. Leads by 3 lengths. And in fairness, his competitors have jumped well too, Monbeg Park and Blizzard of Oz particularly. If I Were a Rich Man remains the back mark of the 4, just brushed through the top of that fence as they come up to past the winning post with a complete circuit to race. 6 fences left to jump in this listed contest. About 2 to 3 lengths separating the first 3, and half a dozen lengths or more back to the back mark of the quartet as they come to the fence 6 in the finish. Rocky's Diamond really stood off this fence last time and again does so. Lands 4 in front of Blizzard of Oz, now 2nd on the inside of Monbeg Park and 3rd, half a dozen lengths to If I Were a Rich Man, the back marker of the 4. So heading out in the final circuit and swinging left-handed towards the fence 5 in the finish. Rocky's Diamond and Michael Keneally. Leads by 4, Blizzard of Oz and Paul Townend. Now a clear second as they jump that 5th last fence, and Rocky's Diamond just nodded at the back of it. Blizzard of Oz gets a couple of lengths closer. Monbeg Park is about 4 to 5 lengths now back in 3rd and being shoved along for a couple of strides by JJ Slevin. And If I Were a Rich Man is closing up on him and Sean O'Keefe, the back marker of the 4. So heading into the back straight, inside the final 3/4 of a mile or so of this listed Michael Hickey Memorial Chase. 4 fences in all left to jump. Rocky's Diamond, the leader by 3 lengths, to Blizzard of Oz in second. So the 2 market leaders begin to sort themselves out from the remainder of the field. They're half a dozen lengths in front of Monbeg Park, who's now being taken for 3rd on the inside by If I Were a Rich Man. Much better jump there by Rocky's Diamond and took a couple of lengths out of Blizzard of Oz over that 4th last as they come to 3 out. Rocky's Diamond jumps it clear by 2 lengths to Blizzard of Oz, trying to close up again in second. If I Were a Rich Man back in 3rd, and Monbeg Park is now last the 4 and beginning to trail that a little bit. But as they head out of the back straight, inside the final 3.5 furlongs, 2 fences left to jump when they turn in, and still all to play for with these 2 market leaders. Rocky's Diamond the leader by 2 lengths to Blizzard of Oz, stalking him in second under Paul Townend, clear of If I Were a Rich Man, trying to stay on in 3rd for Sean O'Keefe, and in 4th and last is Monbeg Park for JJ Slevin. Swinging in towards the final 2 fences, Rocky's Diamond the leader. Blizzard of Oz winning 2 lengths in second. If I Were a Rich Man about 6 lengths away in 3rd, as they head towards the second last. Rocky's Diamond, Blizzard of Oz now pulled to the outside to try to challenge. Only a length between them, jumping the second last and down between the final two fences. Rocky's Diamond comes under pressure. Blizzard of Oz challenges on the stand side over the last. They both jump it well. Rocky's Diamond the far side, Blizzard of Oz the stand side, racing inside the final 150. It's Rocky's Diamond the far side, Blizzard of Oz the stand side, nothing between them. Blizzard of Oz the stand side of Rocky's Diamond. Blizzard of Oz and Rocky Diamond. Blizzard of Oz gets it by half a length from Rocky's Diamond. Breaks his duck over fences. If I Were Rich Man third, Monbeg Park last of the four.
Just 4 runners, but really interesting race between Rocky's Diamond and Blizzard of Oz. It developed into a match between them from the end of the back straight around the home turn. Paul Townend stalking on Blizzard.
Roach is back on board to take £5 off this horse.
2 miles a trip, 7 taking part in this RacingTV.com 3-month trial beginner's chase, and 10 fences in all to jump in this 2-miler as they head towards fence number 1, Telecom, in Tullyhill on the inside of the first 2 to show with Fleur in the Park as they come to the first. And down Tullyhill met that all wrong, headed quite hard, and Telecom was the best jump of the 3 leaders as they come to fence number 2. And Tullyhill much better over that one. Telecom leads from Tullyhill, Fleur in the Park, and these 3 have already opened up a clear lead over the remaining quartet. Flicker of Hope races in 4 with Glen Ashling 5 as they head out of the back straight, and the back 2 are as they head towards the turn of the straight, Bridie's Bow and Come On the Lads. So as they continue the run towards the turn into the straight towards fences 3 and 4. Telecom the leader under Tiernan Power Roach, leads by 3 lengths to Tullyhill and Paul Townend in second. Fleur in the Park, Cian Quirk a close third, followed about 6 to 8 lengths back by Flicker of Hope and Dunamyler, who's 4 with Glen Ashling, and Owen Stables on that one's outside as they come to fence number 3, and the back 2, Bridie's Bow and Keith Donoghue, Come On the Lads and Kieran Buckley, the 2 Cromwell representatives as they cross over fence number 4 and head towards the winning post, complete circuit of the tractor race. Telecom the leader, Tullyhill's jumping, a little bit of a mixed bag so far. Fleur in the Park a close third, and the first 3 not so far clear of the leading group now, only 3 lengths then to Flicker of Hope and Glen Ashling, with a further 3 lengths to Come On the Lads and Bridie's Bow. 6 out, Tullyhill again took an extra stride into that fence, and Telecom comprehensively outjumped him. Fleur in the Park is a close third as they swing left-handed and head towards the fence 5 in the finish. So it's Telecom the leader, Tullyhill the grey, the enigmatic Tullyhill on the inside, jumps that much better, Landsman the lead. Fleur in the Park a close third, gap of half a dozen lengths then to Flicker of Hope in 4, Glen Ashling 5, clear by about 8 lengths to Come On the Lads and Bridie's Bow. So into the back straight, 4 fences left to jump. Telecom and Tullyhill on the inside as they come to the 4th last, a length in front of Fleur in the Park in 3rd. So as they come to it, 4 out, Tullyhill on the inside of Telecom. As they come to Tullyhill, much better, and Telecom takes a crashing fall there, and Fleur in the Park was hampered. And Tiernan Power Roach is quickly to his feet. Hopefully his partner will do the same. But as head to the 3rd last, Tullyhill and Fleur in the Park, the 2 market leaders, now settle down for a match, and they're clear of Flicker of Hope in 3rd, Glen Ashling 4, Come On the Lads, Bridie's Bow trailing in last place. So heading out of the back straight inside the final half mile of this RacingTV.com 3-month trial beginner's chase. Fleur in the Park moves up on the outside now of Tullyhill and takes over the lead, but about a neck or a head between them, clear of Flicker of Hope trying to stay on in 3rd. Heading towards the turn into the straight, Fleur in the Park on the outside of Tullyhill, not a lot to choose between the 2. So as they swing in towards the 2nd last, Tullyhill and Paul Townend, the grey, on the inside, Fleur in the Park, Cian Quirk on the outer. As they come to the 2nd last, but they both jump it well. Fleur in the Park just now beginning to get the measure of Tullyhill as they race down between the final 2 fences and goes on by a length and a half. At the last, Fleur in the Park meets it slightly awkwardly, but lands 2 to 3 lengths in front of Tullyhill, who wasn't fluent in 2nd, and racing inside the final 150 yards. It's Fleur in the Park who's going clear and going to go one better than in his chasing debut at Goran. The ultra-consistent Fleur in the Park wins by about 6 to 8 lengths in the end from Tullyhill in 2nd. Third was Flicker of Hope. fourth, Glen Ashling, fifth, Come On the Lads. Bridie's Bow completed to be last of the 6 finishers.
That's a nice performance by Fleur in the Park. Always travelled well for Cian Quirk in behind. Tully Hill put in a few erratic jumps early on, but
effort. Josh Williamson taking a valuable £5 off his back.
And they're off. 7 runners for the finale. Tom the Scaffolder moves through on the inside to be one of the first to show over Manila Jury. A couple of lengths in front of the market leader Riskaway, who's in third. Port Hill 4. A couple of lengths in front of dual point winner Just a Tan, who's a length and a half in front of Tinto de Verano. And the back marker in the early stages already a little bit detached from the main body of the field is Sonny Koufax. But as they race into the back straight, and it's Tom the Scaffolder and John Gleeson on the inside with the marginal advantage. There's a sensible early gallop over Manila Jury and Adam Ryan in second. Riskaway and Harry Swan lie third on the outside of Port Hill and Paddy Mullins, a length and a half in front of Just a Tan, and Conor Clark, who in turn is a length and a half in front of the free-running Tinto de Verano under Josh Williamson. The back marker, not quite as detached as it was, is Sonny Koufax in the hands of Finn Buckley. So heading towards the end of the back straight, a little of change in the order as Tom the Scaffolder leads by about a length or so. Manila Jury just races slightly off that bend with on its Riskaway on its inside, followed in 4 by Port Hill, a couple of lengths in front of Tinto de Verano, who continues to race quite keenly for Josh Williamson, has been passed by Just a Tan in 5th, and they're a few lengths in front of Sonny Koufax, the back marker of the 6. So heading on to the entrance to the straight. Coming past the 4.5 point, Tom the Scaffolder and Manila Jury, first and second. Riskaway a close third on the inside for Harry Swan, a length and a half in front of Port Hill in 4th. Just a Tan, Tinto de Verano and Sonny Koufax as the field much more tightly bunched than it was at an early stage of the contest. So as they pass the winning post, complete circuit of the tractor race, and coming up towards the point of departure, with Tom the Scaffolder continue to take them along by 3 parts of a length. Manila Jury in second, a length then to Riskaway in third. 3 lengths now to Port Hill in 4th, who's followed by Just a Tan, Tinto de Verano, and being pushed along to try to keep tabs with the rest of his opponents is Sonny Koufax at the back of the field. So as they continue the left-handed swing to bring them towards the entrance to the back straight, Tom the Scaffolder and John Gleeson continues to take them along by a length to Manila Jury and Adam Ryan in second. Adam Ryan, who rode the bumper winner here yesterday. Half a length then to Riskaway, third on the inside for Harry Swan. 3 lengths then to Port Hill and Paddy Mullins, who's a length and a half in front of Just a Tan. Conor Clark on the outside of Tinto de Verano, Josh Williamson. 4 lengths to the ridden along Sonny Koufax and Finn Buckley. Into the back straight, inside the final 3/4 of a mile or so. And the pace perhaps just beginning to increase a little as Tom the Scaffolder leads by about a length. From Riskaway, racing on the inside of Manila Jury second and third. Port Hill a close 4, racing towards the inside for Patrick Mullins, followed then by Tinto de Verano, who's just gone upsides Just a Tan, just gone past Just a Tan in fact. Sonny Koufax trailing at the back of the 7-runner field. But heading out of the back straight, inside the final 3 furlongs. And Riskaway coming there strongly on the inside now for Harry Swan to take it up as Tom the Scaffolder is being ridden. Manila Jury on the outside of that jaw. They're followed by Port Hill in 4, and Tinto de Verano tracks them 5 on the entrance of the straight. Just a Tan beaten back in 6. Into the straight inside the final 2 furlongs, and Riskaway is asked to go about its business now by Harry Swan, and leads by a length from Manila Jury in second. Port Hill comes under pressure in third, followed in 4 by Tinto de Verano. But racing down inside the final furlong and a half, it's Riskaway the leader, being challenged again now by Manila Jury and Adam Ryan on the stand side, and racing inside the final 150. Manila Jury on the stand side from Riskaway on the far side. Not a lot to choose between the two. Riskaway battling back on the rail. Manila Jury the stand side of Riskaway. Manila Jury and Riskaway put it up to the judge. Close third was Port Hill, staying on clear of Tinto de Verano in 4, and 5th was Just a Tan. Good night, folks. Safe home. See you back here in March.
Safe home to you as well, Justin, and really close finish with which to conclude proceedings here, but it does look like Manila Jury just